What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Master Wolfpack Gaming. Thank you for joining in. It is the 10.25 patch notes for Teamfight Tactics. I have not had a run through of this. I'm literally reading this with you for the first time. I'm going to give you the ideas and the rundown of what will be strong in the next patch. I do have an idea of something that will be strong, and you can see him on the picture right now, my boy Maokai. I think Elderwood is going to be played heavily in this next patch. Guys, let's get straight into it. But before we do, you know what it is. In the description below is the link to my Twitch channel and, of course, my Discord channel. Feel free to join either. Feel free to not join. Give it a thumbs up. Comment if you need a question answered or you just want to say anything. Let's get straight into it. Welcome, Carousel Companions. The last patch of 2020. This one is a bit more conservative and focuses on balance through buffing underperforming comps. Patch 1024B had us nerfing overperforming early game traits, which is like Diana. So now that we've lessened our contempt for the week, we're turning to buff this week. We turn to buffing this week. Elderwood, Mage, and Vanguard. Oh, Vanguard Mystic, baby. Are getting the D&D party buff they deserve. Buffs have never been this cheap. A few one-cost units and a Silas buff, but buff might encourage you to keep these party members rolling a few more rounds. Some power adjustments for a few 3-cost units should even out the power curves for Zhao. That's Xin Zhao, Warlord Duelist. In the spirit of evening things out, we're making debuffs consistent across the board via a 40, 60, and 80% curve for all debuffs. Okay. Lastly, don't freak out about the Talon buff. We're just making sure our Vaulting Rogue is no longer completely ignored, which is fair enough. Let's get straight into it. So we're looking at the buffs here. Elderwood, Mage, Vanguard, Fiora, Maokai, Hecarim, Wukong, Xin, Silas, Set gets a buff. Okay. Talon, Yuumi, and Last Whisper. Yeah, Last Whisper did need a buff. It was never getting used. Nerfed is Diana, Lysandra, Jarvan, Warwick, and Kayn. Adjusted via Evelyn, Lux, Aphelios, and Kalista. Put me in, coach. Bench overflow changes. If your bench is full when you return from Carousel, the extra champion will be sold automatically at the end of planning. Don't worry, a message in red highlight will show you which champion can't sit with cool kids. Basically, why they did this, and I've seen this before, is when your bench was full and you brought in a champion from Carousel, it would actually just put the champion on the board and you could use it during the fight. So you basically get a free force of nature. It was a bug that was being sort of abused. Base roll percentages. 1024 had a lot of changes to roll odds and make the dreaded 4-1 roll down less of a nat 20 or bust moment. We're honestly shocked with how well those changes went, so we had a minor tweak today to see slightly more 4-cost champs. I really like that because I did find landing like that Warwick that you need or that 4-cost champ was a bit hard at times, and you needed to roll to level 7 to really have a good chance at getting it. Traits: Divine damage reduction and true damage 50 to 45%. So Divine gets nerfed, and so it should. Elderwood armor and magic resist stat growth 15, 25, and 40 to 20, 30, and 40. So at 6 it's going to be still the same, or 9 it's going to be still the same, it looks like. So 3, 6, 9, but it's buffed at 3 and 6. Very good. Mage spell power. Yeah, Elderwood Mage Brawl is going to be very strong this meta. Mage spell power has been increased. 80 at 3, 120 from 110, and 180 remains the same. Vanguard armor 100 to 120, 250 to 300. Whew, imagine having 8 Vanguard. 1500 to 2000, and of course 600. So I think Vanguard Mystic is actually going to be quite interesting and very hard to kill. Diana, and now we head to the champions. Diana and Lysandra were a bit too warm and bright in the moonlight. Okay, Fair enough. Other underperforming one costs are getting some love. Diana Pale Cascade Orbs has been nerfed at its highest level. Fiora Total Mana has been dropped, so she's going to be good early game. Fiora riposte damage or riposte damage, 200 to 250, 300 to 400. She actually might be quite a viable early duelist to 3 tier. I think you're going to see maybe even some people 3 item stack her. Lissandra 1000 daggers damage has gone from 350 to 450, 600 to 800, so it's just being nerfed at 3 and 4 by 50 each. Maokai armor goes up. Maokai magic resist goes up. So Maokai to me is going to be the best brawler now. Wukong crushing blow attack damage has gone up on all levels. So he does a bit more damage. Tier 2 champions. Jarvan was a bit of a red flag for us. We almost nerfed him in 1024B, but instead dragged him along to this patch. Vi changes are a part of making our debuff system more consistent and should result in a neutral adjustment. Aphelios attack damage goes down. Thank God for that. Fixed the bug that prevented Aphelios turrets from firing during Hunter trait. Hecarim total mana goes down. That's great. Another Elderwood buff. Jarvan total mana goes up. Thank God for that. Silas chain lash damage goes up, I presume, but still that's not really that massive. It's not that huge. Vi denting blows armor reduction, so she reduces, okay, reduction from 50 to 40, 75 to 60, and 100 to 80. Fair enough. Evelyn's been the type of roll the Evelyn's been the type to roll the dice. Not afraid to die. She sometimes make us cry. Other times make our opponents cry. We're evening out her last caress base and execute damage a tad. Kallista's getting better at math, and yes, we're buffing Xin again. Execute, so nerf. Caress damage 350, 600. Buff. Kalista attack speed goes down, which is not a massive nerf. Fixed issues that cause Kalista to execute too early or too late. This includes her interactions with shields, damage reduction, e.g. divine, and damage amplification. Lux chosen stat, mana over spell power. Mana to spell power. Okay. So Lux is actually going to be... She can do some serious damage. Very serious damage. Xin Zhao attack speed. I think this is going to be a major player in this game. I think he's going to be a huge hyper carry. Goes from 0.8 to 0.85. Xin Zhao guard damage goes 300 to 330, then 325 to 340, and 350 stays the same. Yuumi health goes up by 50, so not that massive. Talon health goes up by 50. True strike damage goes 200 to... Why was it 200 anyway? 240 to 250. Wow. Warwick Primal Hunter lifesteal goes down for the first two. Okay, so I still think Elderwood's going to be the strongest. Buff guy gets a buff fix. Kayn gets a slap on the wrist. Beautiful. Kayn Reaper damage goes down. Set Showstopper will no longer fall. Wait, this is a buff, right? Set's Showstopper will no longer fall if something happens to Set's target. Unstoppable, untargetable, etc. during its animation. Now it will still deal the AoE secondary damage with the primary target. Okay. I still think it'll be very viable. Items. This is part of making our debuff system consistent. Last Whisper armor reduction has been upped by 5%. Good for your Jins. Definitely, I think for your Vayne now. You could play Last Whisper on Vayne. The camera will now reset zoom level to default whenever the player view changes. That's okay. That's cool. And the bugs. Fix Galio bugs. Zeke's, Locket, and Chalice can no longer buff Galio. Oh. Fix an issue where Lissandra's hair, we don't worry about that. If Runar's hair could fail to shoot. Fix the bug where Kalista would reapply spell power. Warwick's Hunter proc. Fix the bug where on triggering on attack. Okay, so the take from this in my opinion, Elderwood Brawler will now be Elderwood Mage Brawler will now be one of the strongest comps again. Maokai, you could easily put 3 items on him. Xin Zhao is going to be, I think Duelist is going to be very, very good now because you have the buff to Fiora, you have the buff to Xin Zhao. The Jarvan debuff, or nerf, sorry, will be interesting to see because a lot of people triple ironed him. I think what will also be interesting to see if it's played this patch is Assassin. I'm curious to see if 6 Assassins will get played, especially with like a Pyke and then having maybe a Cultist 3-pair with like an Aatrox and a Elise or something, whatever you want. I think Elderwood is going to be massively contested, and I think also Vanguard is going to be huge with a Hecarim hypercarry. With a Vanguard Mystic Hecarim hypercarry. That is going to be really good to see. I think Vanguards are now elite. So I'm looking for a big shift in meta, and I think Vanguard Mystic is going to be a very underlying or smoky comp because a lot of people are going to play Veigar with the Elderwood buffs. So look out for a mage buff or people starting to play mage, but I think Elderwood and Vanguard is going to be very, very good. And it kind of counters that assassin meta that I was talking about that might come back. So very, very interesting. To recap on all of that, guys, look out for your assassins. Elderwood Brawler buff is on the way and here. And with the mage of Veigar, it's going to be huge. And of course, you could actually have a Divine Vanguard synergy with Mystic. It's going to be very interesting to see what people do. I'm going to try and do a video and get 8 Vanguard. How does that sound? You know what it is. Thank you so much for watching this video. You know what it do. It's your boy, Wolfpack Gaming, coming at you with the 10.25 patch. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace and goodbye.